So welcome back to the Pluto Show, and we are going to pick up from where we left, and maybe my guest can reintroduce herself again and where she comes from, then we can continue with the story. And remember, we are giving stories that can change lives, stories that are inspirational, so that if there is anyone who is passing through such kind of a thing, can be able to get encouragement and be able to move on with life. So my guest is going to reintroduce herself, then we are going to continue from where we left in our last video.
My name is Stacy Wanjiru, a mother of 3.
Yeah, so basically
from Kitengela.
Yeah, so basically guys, there is a video that the previous video that we posted, and now this is the second part of it where we continue with the story. Basically, she lost 2 of her sons, and in the last we've talked about the experience and the journey of bringing up baby Kenneth, and how he came to pass on at 8 months old. So we left where it was now almost the burial of Kenneth. So now that we can get to hear about the loss of the second child.
So after waking up and finding people in my house, it hit me again that my son was no more. So after that, we prepared for burial, started preparing for burial. So it was a bit difficult. People started coming in, spending. Remember, in this house, I was used to being me and my son.
Yeah,
so
you
now
and Kenneth.
Me and Kenneth. Now we are occupied. There are so many people, so many sounds all over the house. I remember before burial, I went back to Montezuma to view him.
Yeah.
I went for viewing, and I viewed him, and he looked so big. He looked very big. He looked like a 1-year-old. And I remember asking the morgue attendant, why is my son so big? He looks like a 1-year-old, and they said it's because of the medicines they put and everything. They make him look bigger. So he was, we had a ceremony at Montezuma Chapel, and he was buried in Langata. Yeah, we laid him to rest in Langata Cemetery.
No, that was on September.
September 14th, 2014. Yes.
I'm so sorry for the loss.
Thank you.
So now that is the experience and the journey of losing baby Kenneth. Now, did it ever come to you that it would happen ever again that you'd lose another child?
No, no, I didn't. Because after 2 years, I was expectant again of the same dad to Kenneth. And the pregnancy was okay, it was smooth. Although now this one, I knew what had killed Kenneth. So I was in and out of hospital for checkups. I went more
to ensure it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't lose the baby again. I don't lose a child again. So I did everything I could. The medicines they told me to buy, I bought. At 28 weeks, I was told to be injected certain medicine for it to prevent the jaundice coming in, you know, and I did that. So upon birth, I gave birth to him. He came to this world very fine, very healthy, very okay, because after that they took blood from the umbilical cord. That's baby Shem's now. He was called Shem. So the doctors took his blood from the umbilical cord, because before it was put it looks like a peg.
So now this is now you've now given birth to baby Shem,
yes.
the second, the third child. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now I've given birth to baby Shem, the third one. They have told me the baby is healthy, the baby is okay. They've checked jaundice, it's not there. We were discharged to a private ward, and we stayed there for for 2 days. Upon the third day, remember when they remove the blood, they did tests to check whether he's okay or has any symptom of jaundice. And he was fine. There was nothing like jaundice in him. So upon the second day, at night, he got fever, started having fever. And I called the doctor, they checked and they gave him some medicines, the fever came down. Remember, he's breastfeeding very well. He's breastfeeding very, very well. And that is something baby Kenneth never did.
So you had hope with baby Shem?
So much. Like I didn't see me losing him. Like it was not in me, because the doctors told me he's very much okay, like he's very healthy. And I was told not to breastfeed him until 2 days. So he was taking none in the hospital. So that day I breastfed him. Breastfeeding him, he had fever the second day, and it was gone. So upon the third day, I breastfed him and he fed very well. And usiku, on the third day at night, he developed complications. The nurse, there are these nurses who normally come to check on the children every night, even at 3. So around 3 a.m. usiku, a nurse came and checked on Kenneth.
On Shem?
Yeah, on Shem, checked on Shem and myself. Because I underwent cesarean section. So they had to observe me. They said something was off with him. And the nurse didn't tell me what it was. He took my baby and ran with him on the hallway to the intensive care. Me, I'm left there on the bed, wondering
what's happening.
What just happened, like.
So the nurse alikuwa tu zile rounds
rounds tu za kawaida zile, anakuja na kuangalia kama kuna medicine unafaa kupewa, you're given.
What specifically did the nurse see on baby Shem?
She didn't tell me what it was. Alimwangalia tu hivi. And she told me hand me over the baby. So I gave her the baby, and she ran off with him, like alikimbia na yeye to the intensive care. And then now they had my number. They called my phone. I saw on Truecaller Kenyatta Hospital calling. So I received, because I couldn't run. So
even this time you went to Kenyatta Hospital?
Yes, even this time I went to Kenyatta. So I couldn't run towards her because I had a wound. Singekimbia. Nurse came in and told me to Tulia. So I received a phone call and I was told to go to the intensive care. Going to the intensive care, I found my son, Shem, in the same situation Kenneth was, in a phototherapy incubator.
It now recurred again.
Everything came back. Everything came back. I got scared. I got even more scared now. And the nurse told me, your baby has high jaundice. And I asked the nurse, what do you mean high jaundice? And they said my baby is fine. You guys said he's okay. Like the skin, you would check, you took blood tests. Then you said he's fine. And I was told, at times it happens. I didn't want to understand. There I complained. I told them, no, you before it got this high, you would have noticed something. It wouldn't have got to this. So my baby is there on oxygen. He's not even breathing, he's on oxygen. You know? And that is the third day. Around usiku 3 a.m. at night. So they took my baby and he was put into the intensive care section, and me, I was told to go back to the ward. So I would be coming every morning to express the same thing I used to do with Kenneth. I express the milk and give him via a tube. And then I think she was a Hindu doctor. Came and checked baby Shem and told me he needs blood transfusion.
The same thing now recurring again. What happened to
Kenneth? I told the nurse, I was here with my son 2 years ago. And the news you're giving me is the same news you're giving me upon my son Shem. And there's no process that I didn't do. There's no medication that I didn't take to avoid this situation. And the blood started, the doctor told the nurse to get the blood very fast. Like very fast, and then in the morning by 7, he should be taken to the theater. At 7, I was there. And my baby they were sharing with that. There was another baby they were sharing the same incubator with. They had the same condition. And my baby Shem was looking like something is off with him, because breathing yake was not, you couldn't see him breathing, you know. Ilikuwa low sana, because the nurses would go and do like this and find pause, but the breathing was so low, was so down. So they said they can't do the blood transfusion when the breathing is like that. Apewe madawa kwanza. So they did that, and then the doctor came again, the Hindu doctor came and told me they'll do the blood transfusion at 2 in the afternoon. At 2, I was there. People came, visited him. My mom came and visited him, my brothers and my friends. And then I went back. See me, I'm waiting for the time to come. We go to the theater. I escort him to the theater, and then I can go back to the ward and wait for my son. When the visitors came and saw him, and then the time ya kuenda ikafika, they left. I went back. I expressed milk and gave the nurse. There's a certain place they place the milk. So they put the milk there so that when the time comes, you are not feeding, the nurse will feed. So the nurse didn't receive the milk, and me, I went back to my ward because I was still in pain. At 2:30, I was in the ward. I received a call from again the intensive care. They said they never used to call Shem. They call babies there by their mother's name. So they said, are you baby Stacy's mom? They used to call Shem baby Stacy by the mother's name. I told the nurse yes. They said come to the intensive care. Going to the intensive care, I found they have removed the line on the hand. He's not on oxygen anymore. The baby who was next to him is not there. He's in another incubator. Baby Shem is there alone. And it clicked. Something was wrong. When I saw baby Shem without the mask, it clicked, something was off. So there was a big nurse who came and told me, Sasa, she told me, Sasa, unajua huyu mtoto alikuwa mgonjwa sana. And I told the nurse, please just go straight to the point. That's what I told the nurse, just go straight to the point.
Because you've already been through this process.
Like I've been there, so I was like, nipe news, niambie tu. He told me when I handed the breast milk over to her, she went to check the baby to feed him, and he was not there. He was not there anymore. He was gone. And it took 30 minutes for them to tell me. 30.
So do you believe that the cause of death for baby shame was due to wrong diagnosis at birth. Kwa sababu
Yes. I even believe myself Shem would be here with me if they did the right tests on him. Because how do you miss a condition in a child? And how do you hand over a child to the mother and just say he's healthy, he's perfectly fine? Yet he's not. You told me not to breastfeed him for 2 days and I did it until, because anti-D, it's called anti-D. There's a medicine you're given before you breastfeed the baby. You're given anti-D and it's costly. It's 8,000 shillings. I got that anti-D when I gave birth to Shem, so that after 2 days I can be able to breastfeed him. And
curses and all that. Or maybe something was not done by our ancestors. Like it's a belief that we black people usually have. Maybe do you, when you sit down yourself, what do you usually think that maybe might be the problem? Do you think it's only that it's because your blood and the blood of Shem's and Kenneth's dad doesn't match, or sometimes do you believe there might be something else, like such thoughts?
Let me be honest. I do. I believe probably something was in between wrong, because we were initially not in terms with the side of the dad, Shem's dad. We were not in terms with them. And I remember when I gave birth to Kenneth, the dad to the guy I was seeing refused to be named after, because Shem didn't have a Kikuyu name. He was just Kenneth Masharia. Masharia was the dad. Like there was nothing in between. And through that process of Kenneth taking you back, they never saw him until when he passed on. That's when the mother came for the burial. She never once came to see Kenneth when he was sick. They never said, they never did anything to help him until he passed on. That's when she came to my house. When Kenneth passed on, the second day, she actually came the second day. And we were not in terms. She just came to say sorry and everything, but I feel like apart from me being raised as negative, I feel there was something off about this whole thing. Because how a baby passes away, how I lose my sons on the same thing, the same way, you know, how I fought for my children by myself, how they used to speak about it matters a lot.
And now, unajua, there is the firstborn, mwenye in the last video we said that alikuwa nyumbani. Like through all these, yeye like during baby Shem ulikuwa unakaa naye ama bado ako kule nyumbani?
During baby Shem he used to be bado at mom's because he was schooling there, so I didn't want to change him. Yeah, he was in school already. So I was not still ready to bring him back, though I had said when I give birth to baby Shem, because I was guaranteed, like I knew in my heart he would make it. I wanted to take my sons with me. Like I wanted to be with my sons.
And the same guy, he is a dad to Kenneth and Shem.
Yes.
Did it ever pass in your mind again that you'd want to have a son with him?
No. I'll be honest. I never wanted anything to do with him or the family. Because every time I would see him, I would see
The child and the suffering.
everything I went through. Because even him in person, we were not in terms, like things were working out, things were not, you know.
Yeah.
So initially it was just me and my boys. I fought my own battles by myself. Even after baby Shem's burial, I was alone.
And since that time, have you ever thought of getting another child?
Until, yes, yes. I love children very, very much. And I really do want a child, like very much, like so much. I get baby fevers, by the way. Currently, I'm a single mom, but I'm seeing someone. And plans underway. I won't mention what they are, but plans underway. And he also knows how badly I love children, how badly I am ready for a child. So yes, I do. I'm not giving up on having a baby. I have no plans of giving up.
Yeah, you should not give up.
I am proud. I celebrate my boys. I'm not mourning them right now. I'm celebrating the time God gave me with them. But I'm not giving up. I am going to be a mom again. That one I know, and I know I'm just not giving up.
So it's been 5 years since you lost baby Shem.
Yeah, it's been 5, and I'm not giving up on having a child. And
right now, as you talk, like is the firstborn? You said the name of the firstborn?
Stuart.
Stuart. Is Stuart at grandma's place, or right now?
No, I'm living with him. It's me and my son only. Me and Stuart only.
Okay, and he's in class 8. He's
in class 8, yes. I live with Stuart, just me and him.
What about the relationship between you and Stuart? Is okay?
It's fine. He sometimes misses the brothers, even if he never got to meet Shem. He never saw Shem, but he was so close with Kenneth.
Oh, Kenneth,
yeah, they were very, very close. Sometimes he would tell me, Mom, probably Kenneth anatuona. Mi najua ananionanga. You know, he misses him a lot. Yeah. Sometimes he would tell me things, and I'm left there wondering what to answer back and say to him. Sometimes he would tell me, Mom, nasi unipe brother ama sister basi. Because he would see his cousins are brother, sister. He's the only one who's alone.
What would you say about yourself in terms of what do you think has helped you to be able to overcome all that? Is it that you're a Christian, prayerful? Is it because of friends, because of maybe family being close to you? What would you say has helped you be able to overcome that? Because I know there is someone probably who is watching this and is like maybe in the first month after the loss or 2 months, and the pain must be a lot. Like now you've worked like 5 years, and like now you've started, maybe I would say forgetting things, but at least you feel you have healed. What do you believe that what heals you, what heals someone?
At first, someone don't believe prayers work. You don't even want to hear yourself pray. Me, I never prayed for a very long time.
You felt that Mungu amekuacha?
I felt solo. I left. I felt niko peke yangu with me. But I came to term prayers move mountains.
Sure.
And I prayed a lot. My family, my siblings, mostly Marianne, she kept checking up on me. She never made me feel alone. She was always there. A few friends. And this is a situation, Pluto, you lose friends.
Yeah.
This is a situation people get afraid of you.
Yeah, they don't want to
they're
be
like,
associated.
how have you lost 2 sons? The same disease. Are you okay? You know, there are those people who go to that extent of thinking you're not okay.
And maybe thinking that you're cursed.
Yeah, and thinking maybe you're cursed or you're from a family that maybe you're bewitched or something. But there's a God in heaven who sees, who hears, who wipes away tears. Mimi, God came through for me in a big way. He gave me so much strength. I am a prayerful person. And the strength I got, I didn't have this strength until I lost my sons. The strength I have right now is beyond. Sometimes I'm low, but it will not take an hour. When I think of my boys and what I went through with them, it won't take an hour until I smile again. Kitambo would stay for days, but now I smile, you know. You're happy, you had them. You didn't lose them via miscarriage. You held them in your arms, you know. So initially it is prayers, prayers from family, and knowing that there are people who are there for you no matter what. Those are my siblings. They are always there for me. Like they would make you feel comfortable no matter what you're going through. So I pray a lot, and I think prayers made me who I am right now.
Sure.
And accepting it. Accepting you've lost your sons or your son. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. You're in denial every time. But inafikanga point, una accept. Sasa acceptance inakuingia ile kabisa, you're accepting it. And what helped me most was visiting them. I used to visit and lay flowers on Kenneth's grave. Until I was comfortable, I stopped myself. Now I would visit maybe twice, thrice a year, lay flowers. But way back, I would go almost every month and lay flowers. I would still find them okay, still fresh. But I taught myself, and through prayers, nikaacha. So I normally go like thrice a year to lay flowers on them. Not like before. And when I go, I don't cry. I just speak a little, maybe talk a little words to them. Tell them how much I miss them, how much I wish they were here because Kenneth would be in school. How much I wish I even had his voice, you know, call me mom, you know. How much I just miss them. And I just go. I leave the grave and go. And I won't go sad. I'll go okay.
So Stacy, now being a single mother, najua lazima kuna zile challenges, changamoto that single mothers have to pass through trying to raise kids alone. Like how is the experience raising the first one, Nashina nikisahau jina? Stewart alone?
It's not easy. I at times I sell beauty cosmetics, though it's not a thing. Surviving is hard, so I'm currently looking for a job, any that's available. I've done business management, and any opportunity that can come in, I would really, really appreciate, because raising my son right now, I'm trying to figure out of how he's supposed to go to Form 1 next year.
Oh, next year.
He's going to secondary school, bills a day, I'm a single mom. It's not easy at all. Yeah, it's not easy.
I also believe that the people who are watching us, not poor, and I know if an opportunity comes in, if you can see, her number is just right down here. You can be able to reach her. Maybe you want to be encouraged about something that you're going through, she can do that. And also, if you find any business opportunity, she's open to any kind of business or opportunity, you can talk to her. And pia Stewart as a graffiti. Yeah. So because I believe there is someone who is watching this and probably might be going through the same kind of suffering that you've gone through.
Yes.
Like maybe as we end this video, maybe you could give that person a word of encouragement?
I would tell anyone who's going through pain, anyone who's going through child loss, there's a God. As much as you feel hakuna Mungu, yuko, and he has a reason to everything that is happening. He has a reason to why your child is not with you, you know? So you just gather strength, take a day at a time, find something to do. Don't stay just at home, because when you stay at home, you get those backward thoughts, you know? Get your mind busy in something, as much as it's hard, and pray a lot. Even if you'll say 3 words in a prayer, uombe tu, uambie tu Mungu, vitu 3 tu atasikia na atatenda. So it's good to lean on God, lean on prayers. No matter what people speak and say out there, just stick to God. He will heal you. He is the only one who can give you that strength. He's the only one who can be with you a day at a time. Take with you each hour. He's the one who can be there with you. As the umuoni, but yuko. He will wipe away your tears and you will smile again. And don't give up. You want a baby? Have. Don't be afraid of it. When I give birth again, nitapoteza mtoto. Don't have that fear in you. Don't give up. That's all I can say.
Thank you. So thank you very much for coming and even getting the courage to be able to share your story with us. You know, people go through a lot, but sometimes they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
But there is one thing I know, that when you talk about something, sometimes hiyo mzigo una feel imekuwa reduced kidogo, and you also become an inspiration to other people.
Yes.
So guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you have a story that you'd like to share to us, just go to my description and write to me. Thank you.